All right. AOAO, what's up? What's up?
Welcome to your Everyday Rich podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Jen.
And I'm Jason Cow. And we are feeling the Christmas crunch as the holiday season is approaching us. And, as I think people in general are ramping down or ramping up, depending on how you look at it, for the holidays. There is going to be a mad dash for and potentially panic for last minute shopping, or at least preparing to buy gifts for people as part of the Christmas traditions. And we were thinking about that as we were just planning our next few weeks with obviously family, friends, a lot of eating. And you were joking, there's a lot of cooking involved.
Yep, lots of cooking involved.
And we were thinking about the Christmas gift giving traditions that I guess we have and what we've observed and gone through in our life and observed socially and culturally. And we're thinking about this whole thing because over the recent years, we've kind of stopped giving gifts to each other for Christmas. We haven't really personally went out of our way to go buy gifts.
Exchange gifts
For each other. And then we're thinking, are you too cheap for not wanting to do Christmas gifts? This whole topic of do you feel cheap for not buying Christmas gifts for people?
Yeah, I think the first thing people feel is, you feel bad, right? Because maybe past 5 years, maybe the past 10 years, you've been giving a gift to this person, right? And then this year, maybe you feel like, I don't want to get this person a gift for whatever reason, whether it's, your own financial situation. There could be a lot of reasons, but yeah, the first thought that comes to my mind would be, oh, I don't want this person to think I'm cheap.
Yeah, well, I mean, because there's these obligations for gift giving, right? The whole tradition of Xmas is gift giving. And it's weird because I don't know who set this up. I truly believe Santa Claus, the whole creation of Santa Claus, the running joke of who created Santa Claus was Coca-Cola, right? But I don't think that is. But I do think Christmas is a very commercialized holiday
for sure.
Outside of, I guess, when you call it the religious celebrations, if you think about it,
it's when the retailers make the most money.
Oh hell yeah, for sure. But it ties back to this whole thing about feeling guilty. I think the word guilt comes into mind when you feel obligated to buy someone something, but then all of a sudden, like you said, you stop giving them a gift. First feeling, I know that's how I felt, where it was like, oh shoot, I feel guilty. And especially if that person gives you a gift.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
You haven't really reciprocated.
Yep.
Right. But I do think there's a lot of emphasis placed on this whole gesture of gift giving, which when you think about it, it's all in it's goodwill, right? It's in positive intentions of wanting to spread joy and cheer and stuff like that. Oh, but really, man, I do feel cheap for not reciprocating if one side doesn't give it. It always happens. How many times that has happened, right?
Many.
Oh, yeah. And I'm
like,
sure.
Oh, thanks. I didn't get you a gift. It's like, oh, man. Let's go for dinner next week and I'll get you some dinner.
Yeah. But we're only doing ramen.
Yeah.
And, this whole thing, really, because I don't know what it is when it stopped for us. But, this thing about it can get intense, right? For Christmas, especially if you have a large family or a big group of friends that everyone participates in this tradition.
Yeah.
It can overstretch yourself. And really, you could put yourself in a position where you got this whole Christmas hangover of overspending.
Yeah.
And running up your credit card bill.
Yep.
And to a point where you're just like, holy shoot, how did
Yeah.
I spend this much money on gifts?
Yeah. Before we leave that, you
Yeah.
asked why we stopped. I think why we stopped was, and I think it happens a lot to people who are exchanging gifts. It's, what do you want for Christmas? And I say, you know what? I really need, a few pairs of pajamas. Okay. So then someone goes out and buys you pajamas. But I could have went to got them myself.
Yeah, I kind
And
of.
I think it became between us. Like, I would ask you, you would ask me, what do you want for Christmas? And then we just go and get each other what we said we had wanted for Christmas and then exchange it. And like, both could have just got it whatever we wanted ourselves.
What's the point, right?
Or why don't we just go to the mall together and let's just go shopping together and buy the things that we want?
I don't want to go to the mall with you because I don't want to be the bag holder.
I'm just saying that hypothetically, why we could just go to the mall together and go buy whatever we want to buy, whether it's pajamas,
Yeah,
a pair
yeah.
of socks, like whatever we wanted, right? Those socks, that sweater.
Yeah, and I think part of it is that it takes away from the surprise, right? The whole element of surprise and
Yeah.
of what a gift is, because the whole idea is that you're supposed to put some thought into it and
Surprise them.
surprise someone
Yeah.
of what they want.
Yeah.
And I remember actually someone was telling me how what they would do over the years or throughout the year, if they were talking to someone, they would actually have a note on their phone with people's names on it.
Mm-hmm.
And they would talk about things that this person mentioned.
Yep.
Like, oh, this person really likes this type of coffee bean,
Mm-hmm.
or they really like eating these types of pastries, or
Yeah.
they enjoy shopping at this store. And she would save it in her phone.
Yeah.
And use that as, a perfect way to.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. And I remember I did that for a bit and I stopped. I just stopped.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people. But it is still a good way to at least track and know about your friends and your family.
Yeah.
You don't have
What
to
they
get them
like.
gift.
And
It, it doesn't have to be like Christmas. It could be surprising them for
whenever.
what I heard was just a whatever gift.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, maybe you can afford, like, this is not a question about whether you can afford or you can't afford the Christmas gifts, right? Obviously, when we talk about money and millennial living, it always is something of a concern, because depending on where you are in your journey, your focus could be wealth building. It could be getting out of debt. It could be stacking as many Benjamins as it is possible for you. Like, I don't know. Well, we just kind of want to just lay the land about this whole, cultural normality that we have to live through of gift giving.
Yeah. But the thing is, it can put a pretty big dent in your wallet. So from a financial perspective, it could potentially add just way more to your credit card debt.
Yeah, for sure. Because the thing is, it's like, especially with inflation now, like, things are much more expensive, obviously. And, it goes to basically saying, like, okay, well, what's the minimum spend for gifts?
That could range, I think.
I know, but like, it's this whole thing where we joked about, remember, like with weddings, it's like, oh, what's the kind of, minimum we should be giving per person, right?
Yeah, but that's like a wedding standard. I think when it comes to like Christmas gifts, depending on who it is, whether it's like a close friend, a close family member, a brother or a sister, or your parents or your kids, like, I think there's certain budgets that have been, I guess, established. There's no like some people will spend $50 on their kids. Some people will spend $200 on their kids. Every family is different.
Yep.
Right. So there's not like I would say a standard. Right.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the common theme is that there's a lot of people that can overstretch themselves because of that, right? Because it's like, oh, well, it's just $50.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what? I want to surprise whoever this person, or I really want to get this gift for my kids or whoever, right?
Like I said, it's goodwill, right? It's good intentions.
Yeah, but sometimes those good intentions lead to some really dark and stormy aftermaths with
sure in January.
Yeah, with your
the credit card bill,
with your money. So
yep.
There's obviously those scenarios, especially like, because there's not just your friends and your family, right? Then you got like your work gift exchange.
Mm-hmm.
like whatever, if you do the white elephant or whatever it's called these days, right? And then potentially even teachers, if you have kids, like your kids' teachers,
Yep. Daycare.
daycare workers. Like I know we do.
Mhm.
We give gift cards because they're such a integral part of our kids' lives.
Yeah.
Like really, I do feel obligated. I feel obligated to like give something.
Yeah.
And there's 10 people right there.
Minimum.
It's like, what are you going to spend on them? $15 each?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like they're right there. So I mean,
And the day they're taking care of our kids for a full day.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it, right? But like the idea is when Jen was mentioning, so at some point we kind of just, because of the way we were exchanging gifts, it like practically made no sense, right? So it reminded me of like almost with my parents and my family. Like my brother and I would get gifts for each other, and we would get gifts for our parents, and we did it for quite a while,
Mhm.
until like just maybe after we moved out a few years.
Yeah.
But it got harder and harder because like as our parents got older, it's just like we would ask the same thing. Hey, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
I don't need anything.
I don't need anything. And
It's
truthfully,
true. They don't
it's
need
true. They
anything.
don't need anything. Even like if you were to ask me, it's like, what do you want? I'm like I don't know. Like
Mhm.
nothing that I can't just go and buy myself.
Yeah.
And that's the line that my dad used once. He was like, there's nothing you can buy that I can't afford.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, oh, I guess it's kind of true.
Yeah. Unless he said like, I want a Lamborghini, then it's like, okay,
Oh, well.
we can't afford a Lamborghini.
Well, not yet, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to buy my dad a Lamborghini first. But like, at some point, we ended up just making a conscious decision to just say, like, yeah, we're not going to do gift exchange, but we wanted to still celebrate in a way where we could experience something together.
Yeah.
We're a big proponent now about like, going out to dinner,
Mhm.
right? Or bringing everyone over. And it's just like, we kind of
Cook dinner.
host.
Yeah.
Because we have the capacity to do so right now.
Mhm.
But there's always this big elephant in the room when you get together with, let's say, I'm just going to use my example, right? Like family.
Mhm.
Because now families have grown. There's a lot more nephews and nieces. Add to the 25 uncles and aunts
Yeah.
from our parents' generation that are luckily still with us.
Yep.
And then all our cousins
It's a lot.
on both sides.
Yep.
So then it's like, hey, who's okay with not
Getting gifts.
getting gifts this year, right? And you raise the elephant. And the funny thing is that you feel really guilty for saying it, not because you're cheap, but because there's a lot of money that needs to be spent. And really, at some point when we got to all these gift exchanges, you're just either exchanging like random stuff,
Mhm.
or you're exchanging something that you don't want,
Yeah.
or has no practical use for you.
Yeah.
And that's just me saying how it is, right? It's no disrespect, because I'm sure my family thinks the same way. Like,
Yeah.
oh, great. A soup can. Because one year,
Who gives a soup can?
okay, we were playing. Remember the white elephant? We were playing.
That's different. White elephant is different. Like
I know.
actual gift exchange.
I know, but
No one buys a soup can for gift exchange.
but the thing is, it's like you get stuff that you're just like, I'm
Yeah.
never going to use this, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that when I don't know who brought it up, but let's just argument's sake, if I bring it up, be like, hey, no gift exchange this year, and then
Humbug.
please,
Scrooge,
the Grinch, man. Like when you say no, people are thinking the exact same thing you are. They just
Yeah.
don't want to say it first.
Yeah.
Right. And once you mention, hey, no gifts this year, and the next person goes, oh yeah, we're cool with that. And then the third, fourth, fifth, everyone just says, yeah, we're cool with that.
Yeah.
There's like this collective sigh of relief.
Yeah.
And because people are going through the same thing, right? They got their own shit to pay for. They got their own things that they need to do during Christmas. And it's not like it's getting cheaper or more affordable. And really, it saves them time.
Yeah.
Right? It just saves them time, and at the end of the day, it's like you still love each other for like getting together.
Yep.
I'm not gonna like look at someone and be like, oh, you didn't get me a gift.
Yeah.
What kind of friend are you? Or what kind of family member are you?
I still think for us, we just value time with people and just getting together versus, a gift,
That
material thing.
I think that just maybe
I
the
think,
maturity of our where we are in our life right now.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm seeing that a lot too with many people younger than us,
yeah.
where gifts just aren't as important. Like materialistic gifts aren't as important
Yeah.
anymore because, like,
If you really wanted it, you
just go buy
you would have
yourself.
bought it,
Yeah.
right? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, it sounds really negative and all that stuff, but I think really it's just realistic, like like from
yeah.
pragmatic standpoint. Um, and then the thing is, like, when you draw the line, you will feel much better, and everyone else will feel the exact same.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So like this thing where where I remember where like for work gifts exchange, you ended up just shop like in my industry, people like to drink a lot of booze, so
It's bottles of wine.
it was bottles of wine, liquor bottles. It was LCBO gift card exchanges. We were literally exchanging gift cards, and some people will buy higher denominations, some people will buy lower
Mm-hmm.
denominations. And the funny thing is that you wrote it, most people wrote it on the back what the denomination is.
Yeah.
So then, you would draw for whatever, right? Like who goes first,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it was. And then you could steal, right?
Oh, you're playing a game at
You're
work.
playing a game at
Yeah. Yeah.
work. And then it was like, oh, someone brought Patron. Oh, geez, I'm stealing that. And then you're like,
Someone brought Patron?
oh, yeah,
Damn.
yeah. And then, some people buy like $50 bottle of wine. And then there's like, $25 gift cards, which, hey, like whatever, right? That's fine. It's still money for booze.
Yep.
But then you're like, oh, there's a $50 gift card right there. Right. Like, and sometimes you could bring $50 and walk away with $25, like net negative
It's
on a gift
okay.
exchange.
I mean, the whole point of that just exchange. You're not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to like win
I
anything
know,
back.
I know. It's just funny, right? Because like this whole thing where, when you see a monetary value tied to it, you're like, damn, I need something better than that. But in the whole spirit of like this like saying no to gifts,
Mm-hmm.
like it's really, we wanted to encourage rewriting the spirit of gift spending, right? Because
Yeah.
this whole forced generosity thing just feels
Forced.
forced, right? It's kind of fake. So like the spirit of Christmas, in my opinion, is not gift giving. It is spending time with the people that you
Want to spend time with.
want to spend time with.
It's a gift of your presence.
It's presence over presence.
Presence as in PRENSENCE.
Dude, you don't have to explain it. Okay? Like it just kind of loses the appeal of the whole me saying it. But like, and that's the lovely part of traditions, is that you can create your own traditions.
Yep.
Right. And they can always be changed and adjusted and adopted. And for us, our own traditions now, and just something to share, with our broader family,
Mm-hmm.
we end up playing games now. Like we play games, we always get together, but we just play games now where we
Yeah.
kind of, all the younger I guess
Younger
younger generation are old enough to participate.
Yep.
And the older generation are still willing to participate.
Yep.
Depending on how much booze everyone drank.
Mm-hmm.
And it just changes the atmosphere, right? We're not there like, creating this expectation that gifts have to be there.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't want my kids growing up expecting gifts
From everybody.
From everybody.
They see during Christmas.
That's right. And that's, so for us, our kids right now, we kind of set this long time ago where it was like, because this whole thing about Santa Claus, right? At some point, they're going to stop hearing the bells of Santa Claus,
Mm-hmm.
like the Polar Express. And we said, hey, Santa Claus comes down. Well, we don't have a chimney, so he doesn't come down the chimney.
Comes to the door.
Which is kind of creepy because Josh is like, how does
They've
he
asked us.
how
He's
does
asked
he
us
get
before.
into the house?
It's true. It's a good question. He's
Yeah.
like, we have a chimney. How does he get down? How does he get into our house?
Oh, he's got magical keys.
That's right.
So Santa gives one gift per kid.
Mhm.
And grandma, grandpa, they give a gift.
Of course,
One gift
grandparents.
each, right? And we don't give anything because we're the ones giving the gifts, right? Santa. And then really for us, the funny thing is a few years ago, remember when we stopped giving gifts because, whatever, right? But we were like, when we still did this whole like gift exchange, we're like, you know what? I could really use a Dyson vacuum.
It's true.
Well, we could really use a new vacuum. And then it said, oh, it morphed into, how about a Dyson vacuum?
Well, I was pregnant at the time.
Yeah.
I remember I was pregnant. And we had one of those like small handheld vacuums where you had to like crouch over.
The dustbusters.
Yeah, to use. Like I used to use that every night after dinner, like, to vacuum the kitchen area. And you'd like literally bend over. And then at some point I probably had to went on all fours because I couldn't bend over anymore because I was pregnant. That's why I needed one of those like long ones where it's a long handle where I could stand and vacuum. I was like, oh, maybe I should get myself a Dyson so I can vacuum properly.
But you're not pregnant.
While I was pregnant.
You're not pregnant anymore, so
No, I haven't bought a Dyson ever since.
I know, but I'm
that
saying,
Dyson was bought in 2014.
Could you ever go back?
No,
The luxury has spoiled you.
I cannot crouch. I'm also 40 plus now, so.
Oh no. God forbid you get on all fours or get closer to the ground to vacuum. But like, this whole thing about domesticated gifts started. It was actually an annual joke that turned into a real thing for us.
It wasn't intentional.
It wasn't intentional, but
it just happened.
It just happened. And then one year it became
a blender. Did you buy the blender?
A blender. It became coffee grinder.
Yeah.
It became what else? Like it's just stuff for
Instant
the house.
Pot, maybe.
No. It wasn't Instant Pot.
Instant Pot was Black Friday, I think, actually.
Yeah, but
anyway,
it just became really practical gifts for ourselves that we just ended up buying, and now we just like,
what do we need this year?
Hey, what do you think of what do you think of getting? And only because usually they go on sale, Boxing Day, etc.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we keep tracking the prices every single time. So it's like we know when they actually go on sale.
Yeah.
And then we still do a small stocking stuffer every once in a while. So, but I mean, that's just for fun, right? If we really want to. So like, if the whole thing is, obviously you want to keep some sort of tradition of gift giving alive. We feel that, you shouldn't just say no because you don't want to spend any money, right? The whole point is making money so you could spend it on things that you like, spend it on things that you love, and on people that you love.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, if you really want to spend gifts, and if you must buy gifts, here's my recommendation. Okay. And you don't have to do it. It's just what I thought off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just pick one gift out of the whole family or out of your friends. You just pick one person. So if you're going to do a gift exchange, that's different, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can put all the names in and everyone picks one person.
Right.
That way it's a bit fair. But you can just say, hey, you know what, this year I want to give Billy Bob
a gift.
And I'm just going to give him a gift.
And that's the only person you can give.
That's the only person I'm going to give gift. Right. And don't expect a gift in return. Just no expectations. It's just, you know what? And that's where it's cool, where I heard that cool trick where it's like, if you have been, taking notes of your friends or coworkers or whoever of what they like, that's kind of a cool surprise, right? Because it is always nice to be surprised every once in a while.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that makes it really special. And really, if you want to make a homemade or a gag gift, go do it too, right?
Even better.
And like, it doesn't have to be something materialistic as well. Like, it could just be something like, what we do is just like, hey, let's go do something.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, when's the last time you went to, like, I don't know, do something random, go bowling or laser tag or go-karts or something fun.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Why not?
Um, and unique gifts don't require spending big money or overspending. I think we as people overthink this and
Yeah, for
and
sure.
make an assumption or connection that like spending money equates a good gift.
Yeah.
And
It's
like,
really not.
no, it's not, because you could buy a really expensive gift and people are like,
Why?
what
Yeah.
what the hell is this for?
Yeah.
I can't, like, I don't need this. So, like as millennials, as we get older, we're getting older. A lot of our friends have kids and all that stuff. They're, hey, here's a gift idea. Why don't you offer babysitting?
A night out?
A night out. Get your friends a night out and just say, hey, you know what? Night out's on me. You guys go spend your money and I'll watch the kids.
Mm-hmm. That's a great gift.
My kids play with your kids. You guys disappear.
Yeah.
Right? Or if you don't want that and your friends don't trust you with your kids, um, have a couple's date night.
Yeah.
Or a family outing.
That's what I like. I like family outings.
Yeah.
To go do something together.
Yeah. Right. It's not like I'm saying your immediate family, but like, your relatives or something.
Yeah.
Right. Something like that. And maybe it's cooking classes with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't know. Pottery, archery.
Pottery?
I don't know.
Okay.
I saw someone doing pottery on Instagram. Or like just playing games together. I don't know. Like, you know what? Like creating a game where like one of our friends is amazing at making games.
Oh yeah.
Right? And the way we all get together sometimes is like we have this games
Game
night.
night. Yeah.
And it's so fun. It's super fun. It doesn't even involve alcohol. It's just games, and it's like really, really fun because everyone is interactive, and you're just there to have a good time and laugh, right? And that's just those are just some ways that you can be unique about it without having to spend a shit ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing about like gift exchanges, I remember at some point, like in my family when we were growing up. So my parents, and I guess all the siblings of my parents, my uncles, they never really got gifts for each other. I don't know if it was just like, everyone didn't have time to buy gifts or everyone didn't know what to buy.
Mm-hmm.
But
Probably the latter.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want for Christmas?
Yeah. Right. And there's like 7 uncles and 2 aunts and all that stuff. So there's like, 15 kids, 15 nephews and nieces. It just ended up becoming giving out red pocket money, lycée.
Yep.
And what happened was that my parents would give my cousin red pocket money.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle would give me red pocket money.
Yeah.
And it was literally just an exchange of money. So at one point, I remember one year I was like, "Hey, Ma, why don't you just give me the money? Like, you don't have to give it
in circles.
In circles. It's literally you're just handing me the money."
Yeah.
And it was just like it stopped obviously because it was like every year it was a lot of money. Like I think my parents dished out like 1,000, like a G,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you're giving $100 a kid or something like that, and
Yeah.
like everyone was really generous at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like but it's just kind of funny because I remember that as my experience growing up.
Yeah.
But so as we kind of wrap up, there obviously in terms of the spirit of Christmas and the holidays, gift giving ultimately does bring joy.
Yep.
Especially if you're a kid, and the innocence of Santa Claus giving gifts, whether they're naughty or nice, it ultimately fills them with so much happiness, right? Because that's what our kids are taught at an early age. Christmas is related to gift giving. But there's a lot of instances where they're less fortunate people.
Yeah.
Right. I want to recognize that because it's like, we're really lucky to be in the position we are right now, talking about, gift giving and feeling, not wanting to feel cheap about it.
Yeah.
Where some people don't even have that opportunity to feel like this.
Well, yeah.
So there are scenarios where I think, where, you don't have to buy your friend something, but maybe it'd be cool to share that joy with people that can't.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So whereas you're buying stuff. You're buying, let's say, for a toy drive.
Yep.
Maybe giving to a charity.
Mm-hmm.
Families in need every winter. Obviously, Christmas is around winter in Canada. Yep. Families that don't have winter clothes, yep. Boots, socks.
There's a lot of organizations that do that, right? Like they sponsor mm-hmm. families who, you know, like you said, can't afford clothes or get shoes or things like that. And for Christmas, that's really all they want. It's just basic necessities for the winter.
Yeah.
Right.
And you know, there's obviously great organizations that do that. We have a few friends that run charities every year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one that comes to the top of my mind is Kevin Wynn, one of our guests in the earlier podcasts, maybe episode 4 or something. But him and his company, the Empire Mortgage Group, like he runs a toy drive every year.
Yep.
Right. We'll put links in the show notes. Hopefully it's still up. The toy drive's still up while this episode gets
mm-hmm.
out. And like that's the whole point, right? Is being able to bring joy to someone else that may not be able to give themselves that same pleasure of joy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, as we kind of wrap down now, in this episode, I hope everyone has a chance to take the time to, whether you want to buy gifts or not buy gifts, really just spend the time with people that you really want. We truly believe in that. It's not about buying stuff that the next day that allure kind of just rubs off really fast.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, the memories of laughing really hard about a joke that you'll always remember.
Mm-hmm. Those last forever.
Right? So, and I want to leave you with a few lines here that I heard. It was, Christmas is now a time where we spend money we don't have on people we don't like for stuff they don't need. And that's almost kind of, it wraps up what we just talked about, right? Where the whole concept of gift giving has just become commercialized to a point it's lost a lot of meaning.
Yeah.
And ultimately for me, like, everyone's love language is a little bit different.
Yep.
Right. People show love at Christmas by cooking. People show love by opening their house. People show love by, maybe it is buying stuff because that's all they have. They have lots of money, but they have no time.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, the world does need money to operate. So, but for me, not being broke is my love language. Because I don't want to have that hangover in January.
No, nobody does.
Because that is the start of summer daycare and summer camps.
That's when all deposits get asked for.
Well, that February bill gets heavy.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Any thoughts on Christmas gift giving traditions?
Presents over presents.
Did you want me to spell that out again?
Yeah, we should spell it out.
Well, everyone,
that's my thought of the day. Presents over presents.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Do not feel cheap for not wanting to buy gifts. Okay. Like, I understand, Jen understands, we understand if that's the line that you got to draw in the sand with your family or your friends.
Yep.
And believe me,
people will understand.
They will understand. And that's the whole point, right? If they don't understand, they're probably not the right people to hang around.
No comment.
So, but anyways, with that, wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, but it's still called Christmas, so I'm going to say Merry Christmas again. And hope to see you in the new year.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Signing off.
All right. Take care, everyone. Till next time.
See ya.
Peace.
Your Everyday Rich podcast is presented solely for general informational, educational, and entertainment purposes. Any such information or other material should not be construed as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. It is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a qualified professional.